And we'll talk to a man who arrived in Texas with $40 in his pocket and turned it into a multi-million-dollar manufacturing corporation. We'll talk to Don Shapiro. First, let's meet the local man who wrote his story. For a dusty border town, El Paso, Texas is home to a disproportionate number of very successful entrepreneurs and major manufacturing corporations. Today, we're going to talk to the biographer who created this, Power at the Pass, the Don Shapiro story. And for those of you who don't know, Don Shapiro started Action West Jeans, arrived in El Paso with $40 in his pocket, and turned it into a multi-million-dollar corporation. Joining me now is Valentin Sandoval. Valentin, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure's mine.
Okay, before we get to this wonderful book, which is an incredible story, we're talking about a man who literally $40 in his pocket, arrived and made success. Of course, his family includes Carl Reiner, and we've got connections to Jerry Seinfeld. But let's talk a little bit about you. So when you were in high school, were you like the writer? Did you produce the paper or something like that?
Not at all. Not at all. I went to 5 different high schools. The 90s, I had a unique life story where I was jumping around, just trying to survive with my mom, trying to find her footing on where to live and all that. So far from it, I was not involved in theater and writing and anything of that nature. I was just a dude trying to survive high school.
So you survived high school, and then you went to UTEP.
I did.
That's when the juices started flowing. But your original love was not writing. What was it?
It's filmmaking. I went to study. I was trying to study aeronautical engineering so I could get myself a beautiful, Mexican wife and a nice home in Current Place, sort of West Side.
Aeronautical engineering will do that, but
yeah.
The creative.
But then I realized
juices sucked you in.
I had to learn how to spell that first, so I left that, and I wanted to make movies since I was a kid. Ever since I saw Mean Streets with Scorsese and young Spike Lee's work, I thought, oh, that's what I want to do with my life. But I thought it was as difficult as going to the moon.
You won one of the first awards at UTEP.
Yes, in 1996, Cynthia Farah gave me and a friend of mine the award, Ramon Villa, for independent filmmaking. And at that point, all the movies were not going to New Mexico like they are now in Albuquerque and Santa Fe because of the tax rebates. They were coming here to maximize on lack of a union and lower cost of wages. And so I got to experience major Hollywood productions in my late teens, early 20s. And that pretty much molded my future. Okay, so how in the world did you become connected with Don Shapiro and write his epic story? Well, for one, I think they're pretty, even though I was a filmmaker, I think the reason why I was nurtured by Cynthia Farah, a professor, was because she saw an innate storytelling ability in me, and that's really, filmmaking is just about visual storytelling. So I went on this lifelong journey working on major movies, and I'm talking about PA work, sort of low, bottom of the totem pole work, and moving on up, and then working I even worked in television. I did documentary work. I went to Albuquerque. I went to Austin. I worked with some really key people up there, and it was just a journey of being around a lot of maestros, and my writer friend in Albuquerque has won the Wolkenstein, the Faulkner, the American Book Award. So I've been around a lot of great writers. You don't do work with Don Shapiro without hitting it off. You clicked. Oh yeah, and indeed, I was my first book had won me the Southwest Book Award, which is a story of my mom raising 40 kids on her own and becoming a citizen in the process, and like the arduous journey of that. And his wife had got a hold of my book, and I was at a city magazine party, 4 or 5 years ago, and I went to take a friend of mine to help her get a job at a TV station, and I didn't want to go because I was about to leave town. I wanted to go do freelance documentary work and film work, maybe go to LA. I had spent some time in Manhattan, maybe go to Austin or New York again, or figure something out, but I didn't want to leave town, and so luckily I met his wife, Bobby Shapiro, who came up to me and we spoke, and then she told me that her husband was looking for a writer, And I told her, well, you know, I'm a writer. And so we met, and right off the bat, I see Don with his cool coat and, you know, having a martini at the place, and we hit it off.
An international man.
Oh, totally, yeah, absolutely.
Well, Valentin, this is an incredibly good book, and you've also shot all the footage for a coming documentary. So, my many congratulations. Fabulous piece of work. Now, coming up, we're going to meet the man, the myth himself. Don Shapiro is going to sit down and give us a few personal tidbits about his amazing story. That's coming up next. The American dream is alive and well in the 93-year-old man sitting right next to me who arrived in El Paso, Texas in 1955 with exactly $40 in his pocket and turned it into a multi-million-dollar clothing and manufacturing empire. Don Shapiro, pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure is mine.
An honor, sir.
You're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you, Don. Okay, so let's go back a little bit to your childhood, which was in the Bronx, in New York.
Yes.
You loved your parents very much. They were awesome people.
Everybody loved them. They were great. I never heard a bad word about them from anybody.
They taught you to love people, and you talk in this book about how your success in sales starts with, you gotta love people.
Definitely. No doubt. No other way.
So you borrowed how much from your dad when you decided, you know what, New York's a little crowded, I think there's opportunity out west, so you literally did, go west, my friend, go west.
That was after I graduated NYU on the GI Bill. Then went back to New York, got a job selling surgical supplies. And I did that for a while and made money. Then a lady in El Paso who wanted me to work for her said, I'm going to send you a ticket, I want you to work for me. So I said, well, I don't have a lot of experience in retailing and selling for you. And she said, I'll send you the money. I know your reputation. You'll do well. So I quit the job, went to El Paso, got a job selling for her. First sale I made was $4,000 first week on the road.
That's huge.
Selling garments for Florence Gallup. And it took me 1 week, be on the map, people knew me, and I made thousands of bucks first sale.
Okay, so tell me how you felt when those first jeans came off the assembly line that you manufactured the first time.
Figured this is a challenge to sell all that, because I had to commit for a lot of dozens every day to make the deal.
How did you grow Action West Jeans into such a big company?
Started with the company El Paso, just selling and manufacturing. And little by little, we sold, got in with, through my sales ability and people that worked for me. And I met Leon Majors, who was a maker in El Paso, who hired me. He didn't want to hire me. I said, no, you can't hire me. I'll be a partner. We went into Action West as a partner, media success.
Don, what would you say to somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur, that has nothing, but wants success like you? How do they do it?
First of all, make up your mind. Whatever you do, never quit. Ever, for a minute. Perseverance builds everything. Little talent helps, but hard work and perseverance is major in making it big.
And of course, people. Love people.
Absolutely.
I love
You have to love people, and if you really do sincerely, they will love you and pave your way to everything in life.
Wow.
Love, finance, everything.
What a great story, Don. God
Thank you.
bless.
Thank you.
Power at the Pass. You can get a copy at poweratthepass.com. Or for more information, you go to our website, ktsm.com, click on the Studio 9 tab.